Well, hello, Agape people. I just wanted to check in with everyone, and I have just some visuals that I want to share with you about what we're about to face and how we can be focused on mission. So think of this as Agape mission prep. It's our prep for the mission and what's coming up ahead. I want to share with you my screen so you guys can see some of just the visuals that I thought might be helpful for us. And the whole idea behind this is that this part of the prep is that I've been saying this sort of a little mantra kind of a thing. It's ask for help when you need it and offer help when you can. So what are we in for? Well, we're in for I believe a period of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. So the way I think of it is like get ready to sort of fumble, bumble, and try some things, and maybe retreat, move forward, that sort of thing. And the whole idea is that if we can get ourselves mentally ready, that we're going to approach this as like, all right, well, we think it's in this direction, but if we need to adjust and course correct, we'll do that quickly. And that's part of that whole idea of being adaptive, being agile. So I think this is what we're about to face in our community, in our ministry. So just get ready. It's okay. And actually, quite honestly, the Lord prepped us for that. He said, in this life you're going to have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome. And also, we're told that towards in the end of the days, we're going to face all sorts of calamities, all sorts of things. Now, I'm not, one of those people that says, "Oh, the world is, coming to an end." It's not that, but clearly we are in a period of time that is very challenging, and I have no clue if the world is coming. I mean, I know the world is coming to an end, but I don't know if this is like the final chapter. But it's clearly something that we need to respond as people of God. So this is what we're facing. We're about to get into this. Now, where do we start? Do we solve world hunger and all the world's problems? No, we're not here to change the world, but we are here to change somebody's world, someone's world. And where do we start? Well, we start at the core with the Agape community, then we move into the family and friends circles, and then neighbors and acquaintances. So the mindset of everything that we're talking about is in a sense limited to who we are and what we can do. We're not here to put in place systemic challenge or systemic solutions for the world. This is not a global thing. This is a local thing. We have to be mindful and be smart about how the world moves, but our focus will be on the core. We are here to change somebody's world, which means that everything that we talk about is going to be in the details. So we can talk about generalities. We can talk about sort of pie in the sky. That's not the idea. Is we're talking about details, and details are going to become critical. It's going to matter. So who needs help? I think bottom line, everybody, I believe, will need help. We talk about people that are high risk. Well, generally, these are isolated people. They should not venture out because of this, I call it a virus vortex. These are high-risk individuals that should not venture out. They need to stay put, and we need to help out. They will need help. They'll need groceries. They'll need shopping. They'll need a friendly word. They're going to need all sorts of things like that. Then we have sort of this middle ground, this medium risk. And the way I think of this group is I have a feeling, and I don't know, but I have a feeling that this group might underestimate the level of risk. I'm like, well, I'm fine, I should be fine, just kind of a thing. So, but I don't know that, but I think that's going to be that mentality of the group, the medium risk. These might be people that have health challenges or things that might contribute to their susceptibility to this virus vortex. And then you have the lower risk people. Now, here you also have the danger of underestimating, I'm a lower risk, I have no problem. Well, we still have to be wise here. We have to be smart. But these individuals, as they begin to help out, they might experience fatigue because they're helping others. They might experience a lack of support, lack of resources, so lack of systems in place. So who needs help? Everybody. I think everybody will need help. So those that need help could actually help as well. So not just as somebody that requires help, but as a provider. So who can help? Again, I think the answer is everybody, even high-risk people. I think generally speaking, these might be the older population. I know I'm making a generality, but just prepping ourselves. they can make phone calls. I was told multiple times by people that have told me that they're high risk, that they're willing to make phone calls and encourage people and coordinate and do all sorts of work so they can help. Then you have this medium risk. Generally speaking, these people, chances are they're going to be more savvy with technology, so they could probably provide online support, online coordination with some of the tools that we have in place. And then we have lower risk people. This is going to be the hands and feet. They're going to be the hands and feet. They're the people that go out. They're quite honestly in the riskiest position, if you really think about it, because they have to go out and come back, and they have to wash their hands like 12 million times a day, and they have to wear masks and put things in gloves and all those kinds of things. Now, who else can help? I think other groups and other external providers, things like government agencies, but we're also to be of help to them as well. But it could be other groups. It could be another church groups. It could be other social groups. It could be a biking club. It could be a red hat group. But anyway, the whole idea is who can help? Anybody that is willing. We could probably find a way to help in the ecosystem. Now, what does that ecosystem look like? The ecosystem is going to be highly complex and volatile and moving and changing. So we have in this visual here, what do we have? Well, we have people that are requesting help. I call them the requesters. And these are the people that said, hey, I need some help. They're at least willing to say that they need help. Sometimes individuals, at least from what I've noticed, is that some people feel like, oh, I know I don't want to be a bother to anybody. I don't want to disrupt anybody. I don't want to be a burden on anybody. And even though they actually need help, and other people would be very willing to provide help, they're really almost like a reluctant requester. So the requester is that bucket of people that could use a helping hand. Could be me, could be you. The provider, and I called it the internal provider. These are people that we know. They can say, you know what, I'm willing to talk on the phone. I'm willing to be the person that goes out and does shopping. I'm willing to coordinate some things online. I'm willing to do all sorts of. So whoever is willing to provide help, these would be the providers, the internal provider. Now, the little lists, clipboard looking things to the left of those. Well, this is sort of, we need to know who are the people that need help, who are the people that are willing to lend a hand. And quite honestly, when I think of that, that's almost like there has to be self-maintained. Otherwise, you're going to have one or two individuals constantly maintaining these lists, and they change daily. So that's one thing to think about. Then we have resources. We have things out there like, I don't know, toilet paper. We have somebody has extra potatoes, or whatever resources might be. And it could be physical resources, or it might be resources that are not necessarily tangible, but they're still important. For example, somebody that might have the gift of singing, they might be a resource to a group of people that are willing to come online in a collaborative fashion and say, hey, let's sing something, or play something they're really, really fun. So again, we have to think a little bit outside of the group. Now, we also in here, right in the middle, we have the dispatcher. Sounds so formal and official. Well, I don't know exactly what that will look like, but we really need somebody that sort of is that person that connects people, that person that connects, that tracks, that prioritizes requests, because not all requests are created equal. Some requests are going to be more urgent. Some requests are going to be more like, okay, yeah, a little more time. So tracking and prioritizing, and this is not just, okay, let me connect you to and have at it. It's really, really tracking. Hey, has this been done? Are we good here? Monitoring so that we actually bring something to completion. Then we have communication options. Some people like computers, and they'll send an email. Others might send a text. Others pick up the phone. I know that there's individuals even in the riskiest category that have no connection to technology other than a phone, and they're saying, if I need something, I'll call somebody. So we need to have lines of communications between the requesters and the dispatchers and back to the providers in such a way that accommodates all those different kinds of communications. And we need to be able to track these things in such a way that we don't have things falling through the cracks, that everybody is informed. Um, One of the worst way that I think would be like, one person's the dispatcher, and if anybody needs to know what's happening, they have to go to that person, and this person very quickly can become overwhelmed. So we actually need a transparent way of seeing what's in tracking, what's being tracked, a transparent way to see how many requests we have, how many providers. So that level of transparency, and be able to observe, and be able to help out, and see this ecosystem, is going to become really, really important. We also have other groups and external providers, as I mentioned in the past, and the dispatcher and probably the internal providers. We need to figure out, okay, well, how do we interact with them? Because some requests we may not be able to help out with, and we need to pass those along to the people that do the best, the best care. 911 calls, we're not the people for that. So like, wait, if it's an emergency, call 911, and let that be handled. But again, the ecosystem, we need to start thinking of the ecosystem in such a way, because it's going to be one, complex, it's going to move quickly, it's going to be volatile, it might change over time. So something that we put in place now might change in 2, 4, 6 weeks, because it evolves, and we're beginning to see how the needs evolve, how the resources are being utilized. And again, shortage of resources, we have to face that as well. So what's the first thing that we do? Well, the first thing that we do as a group is we need information. We need to gather data. We need to know who. We need to know what. Who do we know? People in our groups, people in our circle of influence. That who are the people that we have relationships with, that would become part of our core, our friends and neighbors, our people that are part of the neighbors and acquaintances. Because quite honestly, we have to have, as a church, we have to have eyes and ears open and see, Lord, who would we be able to. Now, some people are going to be just fine, and those, God bless them, not a problem, but others might need a bit of help. So we need to start gathering the data, gathering the names, the contact information, to be able to say, okay, these are the people that are in this core, if you will. And then who can help? We need that data of who's willing, and what can they do, what would they be willing to do, what resources might they have available. And we'd have to start thinking of tools, all the technology that we have access to. I mean, we can all do this in pen and paper, grab a piece of paper, start writing. But I have a feeling that it might not be as transparent to the whole system, to the whole group, to be able to engage in a way where we can truly support one another. So whatever tech, whatever tools we have in place, we need to figure out what are those, and how do we do that. And by the way, a lot of what I'm talking about in here are, you'll see cards in Trello. If you are a Trello user with Agape, by all means, you'll begin to see some of these cards that are saying, well, let's begin to gather the data. Let's begin to gather the kinds of help that we might be able to provide. Let's begin to figure out what are the tools that we can use, and let's put those systems in place now. And I'm so appreciative to other people that have helped with that, and continue to help with that, because it does take a village. And if you're listening to this, you're probably part of the village. So yes, fantastic. So we need to gather data. That's the first thing. We need to know what's what, who's who. But then once we have that, we need to start thinking of a solution. And I think of this solution as a 1.0 solution. We don't have to have the best, the most sophisticated thing out there. We just need to have something that we can begin to use with a limited scope of services, with limited technology, but with the idea that this is designed for growth, meaning that we do something, and then we do something a little bit more extensive and more extensive, so that we can provide help and ministry to the core, to the people that God has called us to. So this is sort of the second phase of, we need a 1.0 solution with a full realization. Then there will be a 2.0 and 2.5 and 2.8 and that sort of thing. So you're going to begin to see that we're testing some things out, that we're beginning to try a bunch of stuff, and the more people we have engaged, and we'll have a pilot, and then we have more. But really, we need we need to start thinking. If you have either any ideas or any suggestions, probably the best way to start with is put it on Trello. Put some cards out there. Yes, we're going to end up with many cards, and that's okay. That's okay. That's part of that prioritization, that triage process. We're going to prioritize those. Not every suggestion, not every idea is created equal. So we're gonna start to think, okay, which ideas bubble to the surface, so we can go together in this direction as a congregation. So this is in a sense our strategy that we're about to ministry strategy we're about to tackle, to be able to engage our community online. And yes, we're going to continue to do the kinds of things that we have been doing, which is our online meetings and all the conversation that we've done up to this point. So friends, stay tuned. But I wanted you to start thinking and feeling the fact that, okay, we're about to engage in a kind of ministry that we probably have never done or never seen before in the past, not at least in this fashion or in this way. But that's okay. That's fantastic, because the Lord is going to be with us. So friends, what can you do? Well, I said Trello. Trello would be a fantastic way. If you don't have access, send me an email, send me message me some way. I think there's many ways to message, even if it's on Facebook. Hey, Pastor, I need help to get on Trello because I'm interested in being a part of this solution here. Another way is to start thinking, boy, who are the people around me that would be part of that, of what the Lord is asking me to look out and be part of. So start thinking like that, start praying like that. Begin to pray, Lord, where can I serve? Where do you want me? What can I do? What do you need from me? And that's where we begin to have our hearts and minds in full submission to the Lord, and we begin to act in small ways that are going to become bigger ways. We're going to learn from this and engage in such a way that the Lord will be glorified. So friends, this is what I had for you. Please reach out. I'm looking forward to hearing the emails, the suggestions, the conversation, and the Lord bless you with everything that you are, and submit to Him with everything, literally everything. All right, all the best. Take care.